Welcome to this lesson of DDM4422 Pro Tools 101. In this video, we'll talk a little bit about the history of Pro Tools itself. Now, before we proceed, I'd like to just state that the information in this video is not something that you will be quizzed on. So you don't have to remember any of these dates. It's just to give you an idea of how Pro Tools came about and how the capabilities of the platform has come of age since their early beginnings. Pro Tools is a digital audio workstation that was introduced to the world in 1991 by a company called DigiDesign. It actually pioneered the concept of multi-track digital audio recording and is recognized for changing the entire audio recording industry. It all began though in the 1980s when two college students and bandmates Peter Gotcher and Evan Brooks began searching for a new sound for their music. Their search led them to devise a process for recording drum and percussion sounds onto computer chips. As the market for electronic music grew, Peter and Evan began selling their chipsets. Their chips included titles for rock drums, electronic drums, Latin percussion, sound effects, and many more. In 1984, they formed DigiDrums and ended up selling these drum chips in tens of thousands. This success enabled them to develop additional audio-related software and hardware products. Among their software projects was a product named Sound Designer, which allowed users to edit sounds captured by a sampling keyboard. Sound Designer was the first commercial product to combine waveform editing with a graphical display. In 1985, the company changed its name to DigiDesign, and over the next few years began developing products for working with MIDI and synthesis on Macintosh computers. By 1987, DigiDesign began prototyping a computer card for playing back digital audio, and in the following year released Sound Accelerator, a CD-quality 2-channel output card for the Mac II. This proved to be the first step towards enabling computer systems to provide professional quality audio output. DigiDesign continued to develop software products for sampling and synthesis. At the same time, they began working on products designed for digital recording. And in 1989, they released Sound Tools, a 2-track hard disk recorder. This was marketed as the world's first tapeless recording studio. Sound Tools consisted of the Sound Designer 2 software, a Sound Accelerator card, and a hardware box called the AD-In that provided 2 analog to digital converters. The first generation Pro Tools system was released in 1991, supporting just 4 audio tracks. Eventually, using additional cards and interfaces, these systems expanded to support up to 16 tracks of simultaneous audio recording and playback. In 1992, the first Windows-based version of Pro Tools, called Session 8, was released. And 2 years later, they introduced Pro Tools TDM, making way for using real-time effects or plugins as we know them. The Pro Tools TDM system utilized time division multiplexing technology, hence the acronym TDM, to reliably route multiple streams of digital audio data between the system's components. This TDM technology also allowed other companies to begin manufacturing plugins for Pro Tools, thereby expanding the possibilities even further. By March 1995, Pro Tools was recognized as having dramatically changed the economics of the recording industry, providing the same capabilities found in million-dollar studios at prices that small studios could afford. And later that year, DigiDesign merged with its biggest customer, Avid Technology. In 1997, Pro Tools 24 was released, becoming the first system that offered 24-bit audio capabilities. These systems included the 88824IO audio interface and new cards called DSP Farms. This system had increased number of inputs and outputs and also enabled higher track counts than ever before. As Pro Tools systems evolved, so did the need for hands-on, tactile mixing control. So DigiDesign began offering a line of dedicated control surfaces for Pro Tools, starting with the Pro Control console in 1998. This was also the year when the first Pro Tools TDM system for Windows was released. And just a year later, Pro Tools LE made its debut, providing host-based audio processing, which means all the audio processing could be done on the computer's CPU without the need for any additional DSP cards. 2001 saw the introduction of the Control 24. Both the Pro Control and the Control 24 console provided touch-sensitive control of mixing, automation, and plugin parameters. So they were like giant remote controls for Pro Tools. The influence of Pro Tools continued to spread, and in 2001, DigiDesign received a technical Grammy for breaking the boundaries of digital recording and revolutionizing the way music is produced. In 2002, the Pro Tools HD systems were introduced. This replaced the Pro Tools TDM and the Pro Tools 24 systems, and provided support for higher sampling rates and very large mixing configurations, something that high-end music and post-production studios were really asking for. The first M-Box was also released in this year as a portable studio-in-the-box for the hobbyists and for those who wanted their own project studio. The Digi-002 and the 002 rack audio interfaces followed, extending the capabilities of host-based Pro Tools LE systems. The Icon integrated console environment made its debut in 2004. These systems featured either a D-Control work surface, which was expandable up to 80 faders, or a D-Command work surface, which was expandable up to 40 faders. Both options used a modular architecture, allowing users to scale their system as needed. Both the D-Control and the D-Command included touch-sensitive faders and encoders to provide operators with extensive hands-on control over their Pro Tools projects. Many studios continue to use these consoles even today. In fact, in our studio in HKDI in A218, we have a 16-fader D-Control. In 2005, Avid acquired M Audio and released the Pro Tools M-powered software. This was basically Pro Tools LE rebranded to provide support to a vast array of audio interfaces manufactured by M Audio. In the same year, Avid also acquired Visu Sound Design, a leading developer of virtual instruments and effects plugins. The Visu team became known as the Advanced Instrument Research, or the AIR group at Avid. This group developed numerous plugins for Pro Tools, including all of the virtual instruments and effects in the first AIR bundles that are included with Pro Tools today. In 2005, Avid also introduced Venue, a dedicated digital mixing solution for live sound. Venue systems seamlessly integrate with Pro Tools for direct recording and playback of multi-track live performances. The Venue live sound systems are very popular and are widely used for festivals, touring acts, arenas, concert halls, worship services, and even in small clubs. The systems include the original Venue D-Show mixing console, the smaller Venue Profile, and the compact and fully integrated SC48. In 2006, Sibelius joined the Avid Audio family, and the product line continues. In fact, today, Pro Tools is perhaps the only digital audio workstation that incorporates notation capabilities directly within it, and can also port your scores for use in Sibelius. In 2010, Avid acquired Euphonics, a company known for its high-end digital audio consoles and the Yukon control surface technology. All of Avid's control surfaces in their lineup today utilize the Yukon high-speed control protocol for fully integrated control of Pro Tools. 2010 also saw the introduction of the third generation of M-Box family of audio interfaces, new HD series interfaces, and the HD native platform. Pro Tools 9 was also released, with the standard version replacing what used to be Pro Tools M-powered and Pro Tools LE. Pro Tools 9 also introduced compatibility with third-party audio interfaces for the first time, which meant people didn't have to buy an interface from Avid in order to use Pro Tools. They could use it with any interface they wished. In 2011, the transition towards 64-bit began with Pro Tools 10. This meant introducing a new file format designed for the modern 64-bit operating systems, which is what gave birth to the AAX plugin format that remains in use to this day. Pro Tools 10 was the last version that supported older 32-bit plugins. With Pro Tools 11, everything was completely 64-bit. This allowed the software to take advantage of more processors, run more plugins, and access more RAM. Pro Tools 11 also incorporated a new Avid audio engine for lower latency recording and improved plugin performance, and a new Avid video engine providing support for a wide range of Avid MXF video formats. This version also gave us the long-awaited offline bounce feature for faster than real-time mixdowns. Until then, every single mix, whether it was a song or an entire feature film, was bounced in real time. Avid also introduced the S6 control surface in 2013, a completely modular control surface that could be configured based on the user's needs. This was followed with the introduction of the S3 and their live counterparts, the S6L and the S3L, all of which utilize the Yukon control protocol for complete integration and control of Pro Tools. The Pro Tools 12 release in 2015 introduced the ability to subscribe to the Pro Tools software, enabling users to pay for the software only when they need it. A free version of the software called Pro Tools First was also introduced for the first time, allowing people who have never used the software to get a chance to know it. In 2018, Avid switched their version numbering to a year.month format. Like Pro Tools 2018.4 was released in April of 2018. Pro Tools HD was also rechristened as Pro Tools Ultimate with this release. Avid also introduced a remote app called Avid Control that enabled controlling Pro Tools from your iOS or Android portable devices. This free app is available for download from the App Store and Play Store. So this brings us to the end of this part. We have covered the history of Pro Tools till date. Just to remind you, this has been just for your information. It's not something that we will quiz you on, so you don't need to remember any of these dates for your EA or for any official quiz. There may be a few questions with regards to this in your CA assignments, but that is open book, so you're free to refer to this video or the book when you're answering that. If there's anything that you have not understood or would like for me to explain again, feel free to reach out to me at any time. We can use our channel in Teams to discuss any point that you all wish, so feel free to start a post there that everyone can contribute to and benefit from. And yes, this lecture will also be made available for you to watch again over Moodle, so feel free to log in and watch it at your own pace.